Transitioning to a big bed is a huge deal. The one thing I want to highly recommend is do not make this transition before your child is 3. Well, if they're almost turning 3, that's okay. But we don't want to make this transition when your baby's 18 months old or on their second birthday. And the reason why is because they're not developmentally ready to understand right and wrong. So they don't understand why they can't play with their toys in their room, or just turn the light on and empty out their diaper caddy, or get out of their room a million times. But once they're closer to 3, they can understand that they need to stay in their room all night long. This transition is exciting, and parents are often excited to do it. And then the night comes around and the crib's gone and they're like, oh my gosh, we've made a grave mistake. So I've had lots of parents who've transitioned too early actually revert back to the crib. And this isn't lost progress at all. This is simply a skill. This is a step in the right direction if your baby is not old enough or your toddler's not old enough to be in a big bed. Some of the requirements for being in a bed, the first thing is age. We want them old enough to be in the big bed. Something that can also be helpful is to let them choose some of their favorite items to be in bed with them. So some parents like to bring them to the store to choose some new bedding for their bed, or choose their favorite color for their new pillow, something exciting. But we also want to keep some familiarity from the crib. So if your child is sleeping in a sleep sack, transitioning to a new bed with a new duvet cover can feel a little bit overwhelming. So by keeping their sleep sack on while they're in their bed for the first week or two can be really helpful for them. Another thing we want to pay attention to is if your child is nonstop climbing out of the crib and you're like, I have to make this transition sooner, there are a few other things I'd rather you try. I would rather you try turning the crib around so that the tall wall is facing out. I'd rather you try dropping the mattress completely to the floor. And I want you to put your baby back into a sleep sack. They make huge sleep sacks, so there should not be any excuse why your 3-year-old cannot be in a sleep sack. I will link my favorite ones in the comments below, but your baby can fit in a sleep sack for a very long time. So definitely keep them in one. This transition to a big bed is exciting, and you might find that you actually have to sleep train again when it comes to transitioning. And this is quite normal with babies. It's normal to have to re-sleep train once big things happen or big events change. It doesn't mean that you're going through the whole 14-day process again, but it does mean that you're going to have to maybe go through 1 or 2 nights of it being really sticky and hard. And then by night 3 and 4, if you're consistent and sticking with your routines, then your toddler will breeze right through and fall asleep. So good luck with the transition. I will leave some notes about the transition in the description below, but I hope it goes well. Let me know what you think.